I'll never forget when I went to a wedding in India with my family. I was hanging out with my cousin, and we decided to go get drinks at the bar. And then I watched him talk to the bartender and order drinks in perfect Hindi. And I'm sitting there staring at him like, shouldn't I be able to do this? Another time, I remember traveling with a buddy in Asia, and this guy was incredible to watch. Every single place we went, he got the hotel rooms upgraded. He made friends at bars. At one point in Thailand, I remember hanging out with a group of local Thai people, eating food that tourists would never know about, all because of my friend's ability to talk to anyone. Again, I'm like, how do you do this? I think we all have someone like this in our lives. They're kind of like a real life James Bond. The kind of person who suddenly just starts speaking to your waitress in Mandarin, a language you had no idea they even knew. Or the kind of person who just picks up a guitar and starts playing. It's like they pull these skills out of nowhere. And whenever you're with them, it's like, how do you know this stuff? I actually think knowing these things is awesome. But notice that people think it's weird to learn them. Notice the difference? Knowing how to speak fluently to a waiter in a foreign country, super cool. Telling people you're taking a class on juggling this Friday, weird. In fact, I remember telling one of my friends that I was taking a whiskey tasting class. And you know what he said to me? He said, man, you remind me of me when I was single. I said, what do you mean? He said, I used to do all kinds of interesting stuff. I'd take classes, I'd go out to events, I'd try all these weird things. Now I don't really do that stuff. Now, I totally get that. When you're single versus in a relationship, of course, things are going to be different. But I will say that you're here, you're watching this program. So I already know which choice you want to make. And we're going to get into this. I want to be able to order coffee in Italy. I want to be able to drive stick shift if I have to. Or I want to be able to dance at my cousin's wedding. I want to be able to learn anything fast. It's fun, it's impressive, and it's a great way to meet new people. So why don't other people do it more? Why are you the one who joined this program and all of your friends did not? Well, I think some of the common reasons that we've all heard, people think they don't have time. People don't make learning new skills a priority, which is fine. Maybe they're not. And a lot of times people just don't know where to start. And you know what? Sometimes we don't even know what to learn. I think a lot of us can actually relate to coming home after work, getting something to eat, sitting down in front of the TV. Maybe you have some free time, but not really being sure what to do with it. In fact, one of our readers wrote, I don't have any hobbies except reading. What should I do? Now, that sounds kind of weird. I don't think this guy's a serial killer, but I get it. You're sitting here, you live in a world with a million options. You have the time. But what are you even supposed to do? Now, I've realized that you can pick up a lot of things pretty quickly. We all have the same amount of hours in a day, and one big distinction I've learned is that it's easy to go with the flow, almost like getting carried along a river. Life makes it very convenient and easy to wake up, go to work, come home, eat, and watch TV. And then what happens? We end up looking at those friends in our lives, the ones who can speak different languages, who are always out there doing different interesting things, and we think about how different they are from us. But they're not. The truth is, these friends of ours, these James Bonds who are good at a lot of things, usually aren't actually experts at everything. They just try a lot of new things. And we can train ourselves to do that too. It doesn't have to be this huge commitment, and frankly, you don't even need to be that good. I'll give you an example. I always heard my friends talking about paddleboarding. Paddleboarding is that thing, you're kind of standing up on a surfboard, you're using an oar to move yourself along. So I decided to take a lesson over the weekend, and I learned some stuff like how to balance and how to turn around, and that was it. Guess what? I did the class, it was cool, I'm probably not gonna do it again. But, you know what? Next time I'm at a lake with my friends, and somebody says, hey, anybody wanna go paddleboarding? Now I can say, yeah, I can do that. I'm not the best, but I've added it to my portfolio of skills. I checked the box, I tried it out. If I wanted to go deeper, I could have, but I'm good enough. I can do it once, I can do it for a few minutes, I can have a good time, and most importantly, I'm not letting my lack of skills hold me back from any opportunity. Now imagine if you did this just 3 or 4 times a year. The cool thing is, once we learn something, we can take those same lessons of learning and apply them to a bunch of new things. You can actually get better at learning the more you learn. For example, this paddleboarding lesson was just one thing, but the real key is that in the past year I've done paddleboarding, gone on a trapeze, I've learned how to make cocktails, I've done all kinds of stuff. Now this is where it starts to get really interesting, because you haven't just done one thing like paddleboarding. You've actually built a routine of doing new stuff all the time. You're acquiring new skills, new experiences. You've learned the skill of learning skills. And the truth is, once you've proven to yourself that you can pick up one thing, it's going to be much, much easier to pick up the next. That's when it starts to become addictive. And in fact, you even start looking for the next new thing to pick up. This is where it gets really fun. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to pick up a bunch of skills and we're going to move fast. If you do want to get really good at something, you can. And we'll show you how to do that too and how to do it quickly. One more thing. I just want to leave you with my personal recommendation for getting the most out of this program. And that's one simple thing. Don't just read, don't just watch. Actually do it. This is something that I've noticed all the world's best learners do. They focus on action over consumption. You don't learn a skill by studying the theory alone. You got to go out there and actually practice it. You and I all know someone who's been learning Spanish since 7th grade, but they still can't really speak it. Why? Because they spent all those years with their nose in a book, but they never actually went out there and tried to talk to someone. So I'm going to encourage you, I'm going to push you. To get results in this course, you're going to have to actually take action. And that's why at the end of each lesson, we're going to challenge you to take one small, really specific action, and we're going to help you accelerate your learning. So here's what I want you to do right now. You might have a list of things that you're always saying that you want to learn. What's that thing? Learning to play guitar, or speak Italian, or finally figure out how to use Photoshop? Whatever it is, no shame. Make that list. And then I want you to think about one thing you can do right now to learn more about it fast. In the next 30 minutes, for example, you could just Google it and read the top 3 results. You could watch a couple of YouTube videos. You could even take a short class or a course. For example, one of my coworkers on our team loved having fresh flowers in her house. But every time she tried to buy some, they would just look awkward and weird. She kept saying that one day she would take a floral arrangement class when she had time. Sound familiar? And when we were researching this course, she thought, you know what? Let me see if I could do just a little bit right now. So she took a free 20-minute class online. Just 20 minutes. Then she got a bunch of flowers together and she tried her first arrangement. No, it wasn't perfect, but hey, it looked nice. And her friend said something nice about it. And it made her feel just a little bit happier every time she walked past her kitchen table. Now, she told me this. I thought it was the perfect example of what this course is about. Baby steps, and soon you will develop an amazing skill of learning fast. In fact, with my coworker, in 30 minutes, she knew 10 times more than she had in all the years she'd spent complaining about how bad she was at flower arrangement. So go ahead. I want you to spend the next 30 minutes diving into just one skill you've always thought about, and you will be surprised at how far you can get. Leave a comment below and share what skill you've decided to dive into. I can't wait to read what you've picked.